Good Sunday morning, neighbors. So, got some pushback about radiation measurements and the facts of these radiation measurements. One of the particles of interest we can talk about is an alpha particle. Alpha particles do not travel far through any medium. They're basically, that energy, that particle is absorbed in water almost instantly. It has very little travel distance. In high humidity, its travel distance is shorter. There are more particles around to absorb the energy of an alpha particle. So its travel distance is dependent upon, this is just the particle now, the particle emitted when an element, when an isotope destroys itself. A particle is emitted, and it might be an alpha particle. So what does this mean? You have an alpha sensitive meter type. If you understand, if you know the detector, the response of these is defined by the detector's capabilities. If your detector is an alpha sensitive detector, that means that's the bulk of what it's going to pick up or measure. There's some rules around this, there's some guidelines around this on how to effectively use these things beyond just waving them around in the air. So alpha particles, easily stopped, very easily stopped. Exterior to your body, your skin just goes on being your skin and you slough it off, right? You know how much your skin sloughs off. If you don't shower or bathe, you start to get the flaky skin. You know how much your skin flakes off if you have dandruff. That is your skin's response to sunlight, to the air, to actually your existence. It is self-healing. It is repairing itself constantly. So that external alpha, we know how to deal with. We also know external alpha particles can cause cataracts. Gee, they'd have to be close to the eye for them to be causing cataracts because that particle doesn't travel far. That particle emitted from an element. So when you sense alpha particles in the air, that means the elements are floating in the air around you, very likely. They are part of the wind blowing by you. You are inhaling those particles that haven't exploded yet, that haven't released their energy yet, into your body, into your lungs. Now when those particles go off, they're attached to the membranes of your lung. And those membranes are not nearly as resilient and as repairable as your skin is, to my understanding. You can correct me on that, but the damage is still being done and managed. This is the challenge of alpha particles, and beta particles have this same issue. So when you get large alpha readings in the atmosphere, it means you are breathing those particles in through your nose, through your mouth, through your lungs, into your lungs. The particles have a persistence time in your lungs. When you inhale, some part of that inhale remains in your lungs until the third or fourth exhale. You don't fully empty your lungs with every breath. Amazing piece of work, that lung. So that's the first line of defense. Your sinuses, your nasal passages. Those passages for those elements that have not detonated yet are brain sensitive. This is where all your sinuses are. So those things that build up in your sinuses, those little booger things, can be some concentrations of things that you maybe don't want exploding inside your body. So that's how it works. That's why alpha particles are important to understand. They are around us. Our body has mechanisms to deal with them, but we can be overwhelmed. You can get symptoms as simple as flu-like symptoms because your body is actually creating antibodies and more skin cells to replace the cells being damaged by these damaging particles, because that's what they are in quantity. It's like RF frequencies. In high power, they cause cancer, they cause death, they cause harm, period. That's how it works. I'll take you to a radar set and throw a bundle of steel wool in front of a radar set horn, and you'll watch it just burst into flames, ionized by microwaves, because that's how it works. Energy at a distance, you're in a proximity to it. You're welcome.